Then had flown over Tokyo and Nagasaki after the bomb was dropped, and when the war was over, we anchored with for the signing of the peace treaty, and we didn't get ashore. We were just there. As I guess just to watch. Anyway, I think I've run my time out here. I just have one thing to say that when I came back, my relationship with the skipper, he let me take one of the Hellcats home, and I flew from New York we came back to the Panama Canal, incidentally, and ended up in New York, and I took the plane back and landed, was supposed to land at Grosse Seal, Michigan, but the weather was kind of bad, so they sent me over to which is now the Metropolitan Detroit Airport. And I stopped in Detroit. I'm from Grand Rapids, but I stopped in Detroit to see my girlfriend, Margie. And stayed there a couple of days, and then I went up to Grand Rapids and got in a little trouble up there doing some slow rolls and stuff that you're not supposed to do. But they had a lot of calls into the airport, and of course I was one of these hot pilots, and the probably was not. The positive fact of the Navy to me was that it did prove to me that you can do what you want to do, and you can do it very well. And I have felt since that time that there isn't anything that if I put my mind to it, I couldn't do. But that was my experience. Now, that's compared to the experience that some of the people had, and is probably might look well, but it is something. I did have some problems afterwards. In my sleep, I would wake up and hear the guns, the machine guns running, and night flying always didn't agree with me. The lights, I'd see lights, and I'd think I was running into somebody. But besides that, I think I had a very positive experience, even though it was war, and war is hell.
Question or comment? Either if you could speak up really loudly, or I can run a mic over to you.
Roger, you mentioned something that is termed now universal service, that all young people should have some kind of service at some age, 18, 19, 20 years old. Jim and I'm sorry. Do you think that if that had been in place, that all of your colleagues, your peers, had some type of organized, structured service, would have eased your transition in your lives when you left the service?
Great question. My response is, we always speak of service to the country primarily as military. And my question is, why does it have to be military? Why can we not have other ways of serving the country that are equally valid? We have 3 military academies, opposed to 4. We pay for their complete education. We pay them their professional salary when they're finished. We don't do that around people who are peace builders or peacemakers. We don't honor them in this country. I think there should be national service, absolutely, but not necessarily military. And there is, in my opinion, something about war that changes you profoundly. And unless you've experienced that, I don't think it would have made a bit of difference when we came back as far as the reception. It's interesting to me that people in my age group who didn't serve feel a guilt that they didn't go. Those who went, some feel guilty because they were there, and others feel guilty because they survived. So it's kind of a paradox, a conundrum. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you.
My opinion is that I kind of disagree with it. Our military is an all-volunteer force. People are there because they want to be there, and having people, I believe in personal freedom. If people want to serve, then they ought to have that option to be so. But if they don't want to be so, then they should not be forced to do it. And my opinion on the other side is that I don't want to serve alongside somebody who doesn't want to be there. If if they'd rather be in college and enjoying their age, then it's great. That's great for them. But I don't want to serve alongside them. What I did, while far from life-threatening, was a dangerous job. And unless you're focused on the fight that you're going to either get yourself killed or you're going to get somebody else killed. And I'm not going to let myself get killed on account of somebody who doesn't want to be there.
I appreciate the remarks you just made, but don't you think if we had a draft, we would be a lot less inclined to go to war in the first place?
I would like to say that's true. But reflecting back in Vietnam, we had a draft. We had a lot more dissent. And it still didn't seem to make a difference in going to war. I personally would prefer a draft conscripted army versus all volunteer. It really, in a democracy, it makes me feel much less safe having a professional military that isn't universally, I guess, focused on values of the country. And that's when the Congress passed the Gulf of Tonkin resolution allowing for combat troops to be sent to Vietnam, even though there are already been special ops people there for years. Only one congressman, one person in the Senate had any kids serving in the military. Only one. The point may be well taken. It may have lessened it. I don't know.
I am not in favor of the draft, but I want to make the point that the compulsory training does not have to be completely military. It could be a lot of things. I know it's almost impossible to think of it, but it would be for male and female, and it would take that period of time from high school to what they're going to do, and they would know exactly what it was. It could be some kind of service, or it could be a lot of things. I just feel that the experience that I had led me to believe that this would be good for a guy. Now, I don't know about a lady, but I think it would be good for them.
Well, again, I'm against a draft. I believe that what makes our military special is that it is an all-volunteer force, and that's part of our effectiveness, is that people who are there want to be there. I have a huge problem, because there were people that I was with, who I've served with, whose intentions in joining the military was anything other than, something other than serving the country, either running for college or to get away from mommy and daddy or something, and it showed. And I didn't like being around those people, but if there's going to be military action that happens anywhere in the world, it's going to happen regardless of how we run our military. And when the poop hits the fan, we have to send our military in. And I just don't think that it would be a good idea to send people there who don't want to be there. As you could probably imagine what it's like for Bob. I can't agree with it.
There's a question over there. Oh, sorry, the one next to you. Whichever one.
What about the people that don't want you to be there, like myself? Because, I don't support all of these wars. I don't, I want domestic help here. I want a job. I want, the money to be in this country. I think the wars are different now than when 87 years, guy, and my father, and I don't believe in World War II either, or World War I. So I don't even support those wars, and I know enough things, political things, that I disagree with. The Gulf of Tonkin, that was a staged thing. The Hiroshima and Nagasaki, there was, the emperor had conceded, and they changed one part of the Gulf, or of the Potsdam Declaration. One paragraph of the final draft was changed at the last minute. We should never have dropped those bombs. We did it to make a show of force for Russia, but I don't think we need to make a show of force. So I disagree. So I ask
Do you think it would hurt you?
Oh, yeah, please.
Excuse me?
Do you think it would hurt you to have that period of time that between high school and college or whatever?
To be drafted between high school? Do I think it would hurt someone? Absolutely. My dad was 18 years old. He didn't know anything when he got in World War II. He didn't know why the war was happening really. He didn't know the real reasons. He told me that.
Did you have a question?
So that's my question. It's
I don't want to turn this
like,
into an argument.
how do you feel about people that don't want you to be fighting on their behalf?
That's fine if that's people's opinion, but my feelings is that I wanted to serve in the military. That was what I wanted. And if other people don't believe that we ought to have an armed force, then that's their opinion as well. But as long as people are the way that they are, there's always going to be conflict. And when there is, I personally feel happy that I'm the one who is there to protect our interests. But that's, it's a matter of personal opinion, personal preference. That there are people, like I said, there are people who don't want to have an armed military service, but for me, I do want to be there. It's not that I'm there because I want to fight a war, but I'm there because I want to protect, our interests. Or another way to put it is that I'd rather it be me in the military than my little sister or somebody else's little sister, little brother, whatever. That's my opinion.